It's up with beautiful winters. It's a gorgeous day. So glad you're here. My name is Billy Larkin. I'm your music director. We start off with a little song to help from Ernest Holmes. This is called Just One Life. There's something this life is God's life. This life is perfect. This life is life. There's only one life. This life is God's life. This life is perfect. This life is perfect. So, there's only fire. This life is God's life. This life is perfect. This life is perfect. There's only one. This life is God's life. There's only one life. This life is God's life. This life is perfect. This life is perfect. This life is God's life. This life is perfect. This life is perfect. This life is God's life. This life is perfect. This life is perfect. This life is perfect. This life is God's life. This life is perfect. This life is perfect.
Incomparable Billy. Oh, check. Hello. Test. 1, 2, 3.
Check the mic.
Oh, there you go.
Turn it on.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. You know, it's a switch on the end of this. Yeah. Patrick's in the back. And I'm like, Patrick, we got to. He's like, hey, buddy, you got to turn it on. All right. Welcome. Good morning. And welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Yolo. Happy New Year. We did it. We made it past 2022, and we're on to 2020. And geez, we just got big things happening, a lot of things going on. But a couple of things I want to get out of the way. One thing is I want to welcome anyone who's new here. If you're new, if you're shy, you don't have to raise your hand. But if it's your first time here, raise your hand. And oh, wonderful. Good to see you. Welcome. If you are here for the first time, there's a couple of things that we want to let you know about. Oh, I got to introduce myself. I'm Reverend David Clark. I'm the senior minister here at CSL Yolo. And I just want to tell you a little bit about what we believe and what we practice here at CSL Yolo. But I'm going to get my little clicker.
I'm going to tie this thing to you.
I know. Heather's threatened to tie this around my neck loosely.
I didn't say that.
So what do we believe? We believe, first of all, that love is all there is. Everything is an expression of love, a call for love, a reflection of love. If you close your eyes right now, probably what will appear in your mind is something that you love, someone that you love. We are constantly surrounded by love, and it's a motivating, driving force in our lives. So we believe, and we give ourselves over to the fact that, look, we're all just here about love. Number two, we believe that all thought is creative and influential. Thoughts are things. Everything around you has been preceded by thought. Every physical thing has been preceded by thought. This beautiful building, the plants, the trees, you, me, we're all preceded by thought. And we pay a lot of attention to what we think in this philosophy because we know what we think we will see in our world. What we think and what we believe is what we'll see. So we pay a lot of attention to what we be believing around here. So number three, we believe that you are whole, perfect, and complete exactly as you are right now. And yes, exactly as you are right now, with your aches, with your pains, with your goals, with your successes, with your failures, you are entering into life as a whole, perfect, and complete person. And knowing that about ourselves is like going on a long journey with a full gas tank instead of going on a long journey with an empty gas tank. We are already whole, perfect, and complete because we come from a whole, perfect, and complete source, the almighty creator of all things. That's where we all come from. And God doesn't make it broken. God makes complete. So that's what we are. And lastly, we believe in a world that works for everyone, and we're working from that world together. And it's not a world we're trying to make work for everyone. This is a world and a universe that runs on love and law, on cause and effect, reliably. So what we do in this philosophy is learn about cause and effect, about love and law, about how we can use the natural world and our minds to bring our good to us, to manifest good. So this world already works for everyone. We just need to learn how to work with it. So right now is my favorite time of the day. It's our Namaste time. It's a time when, it's a time when we get a chance to look in each other's eyes and see the God within. See our internal divinity that is there. It's present. You're not looking into anybody's eyes, and there is no one walking around that doesn't have God inside of them, no matter who they are. And so for our Namaste time, we'll concentrate on seeing that divinity inside. And we acknowledge it and we salute it by saying Namaste. So let's all see each other's gods. So now I'd like to bring up our PA, our practitioner of the day, Bobby Bolden. And she's going to share with us our vision, our mission, and today's affirmation. Happy New Year, Bobby. Yes.
Good morning, everyone, and
morning.
Happy New Year to all of you. All right, so I'm going to read our mission and vision statement through once, and after I read it, I would like for you to read it again with me. So, our mission statement, a vision. I'm reading mission and vision. Our vision is to create an environment for all to realize the power of spiritual connection and together. Our vision is to create an environment for all to realize
the power of spiritual connection.
our mission statement. Our mission is to provide a sanctuary for all to be lifted and inspired to embody spiritual principles and to live their inherent greatness. And together. Our mission is to provide a sanctuary for all to be lifted and inspired to embody spiritual principles and live their inherent greatness. And so today we have an affirmation. Again, I will read it and then we can read it together. I am an eternal being now on the pathway of endless unfoldment. Let's read it. I am an eternal being now on the pathway of endless unfoldment. Let's read it again. Eternal being now on the pathway of endless unfoldment. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Diane Cataldi, our board president, to the platform, and she's going to give us some announcements. Hello, Diane.
Good morning, everyone. We're glad you're here. Okay, our announcements for today. We have a gratitude group, and that is meeting on January 12th. It meets. Oh, here we come. Okay. Follow along. No. It meets on January 12th, and we meet every month on the second Thursday, and that is in Davis from 4:30 to 5:30 at the community room of June Robinson's place, and that's 1221 Kennedy Place. It's called Davisville Apartments. And June is a Buddhist, and so she has practiced Buddhism for a lot of years, and so she brings a lot of that into the gratitude group. And so if you're interested, if you're curious, join us. And we also have 2 care circles, and one meets in Davis once a month, and one meets in Woodland once a month. So if you're interested in being in a care circle, you can contact Marty Meyer for the Davis one, or Chris Kitanoya or Barry Bolden for the Woodland one. And these care circles are an opportunity to get together with other people from this group and just get to know them a little bit better. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and contact either one of them. The next thing we have is Dr. Deborah Taylor will be leading a class in the future, and it's called 5 Gifts for an Abundant Life, and she's going to speak a bit about it. Deborah?
Thank you, Diane. First of all, I want to say, look, we can see our stained glass. Anyway. Wow. So, if you are interested in living the life of your dreams, this class is designed to help you and to empower you to step into the abundant being that you are. So no matter what your life may look like now, maybe you're not, there's some things that you think you're lacking. Here's an opportunity to use the acronym 5 gifts. Stands for gratitude, intention, forgiveness, tithing, and surrender. And it is a very, very powerful class, and we don't have a date yet, but if you're interested, please sign in the back of the room on the table back there, and with your contact info, and I will be in touch, and we will come up with a date and time. It's a very, very good class. Thank you. And
Thank you, Dr. Deborah Taylor, and I am looking forward to that class, and I will be there. Okay, the next thing is Reverend Donna Appadoni was here a couple months ago, and she told us about a class that she is having, and so I wanted to go ahead and mention that to everyone because that is coming up. And it is going to be 6 Tuesdays. It starts January 10th. And it's in West Sacramento, but I believe she might be having it online also. And there is a flyer in the back on the table that can give you more information on that. So that's Reverend Donna Appadoni, who has spoken here numerous times. Okay. I don't believe this is on the slides, but stay tuned because we have a lot of stuff coming up in January and February. In February, we will be having our annual meeting, and at that time, we'll go over all the finances for the prior year and answer any questions you may have, and also our annual budget for the new year. We will also be installing our new board members, so stay tuned for that. And if you are interested in being a board member, you do have to be a member, but we're hoping to have some class in January that will allow people to become members so you can be on the board. And the board is really, right now we're doing it online, and it's, they're good meetings. They are a little bit long, an hour and a half, but we just have a lot we're doing, and it's exciting. So join us. They're online, so it's just really easy to flip on your Zoom and be there. So hope to see all of you. Okay, the last thing is please join us for fellowship after service. It's right downstairs where we can get to see everybody and just catch up with the holidays and everything. Okay, today our speaker is Reverend David, and our guest artist is Billy Larkin. And next week, our speaker will be Reverend David Clark, and our guest artist will be Heather Clark. So please join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. So now it's time to enter into the more contemplative part of the service. And to get us started on that peaceful path, before we have our sacred reading, we're going to have a little congregational, and then we'll have our sacred reading and prayer and another sacred offering of music. Yeah, so we're doing things a little bit differently. It's the new year, you know. So let's contemplate.
Please join me in singing Holy Light of Love. Oh. holy light of love, holy light of love, shine, shine, holy light. Shine on, shine in this fall upon with the light shines from your heart. Holy light, holy light of love, shine, shine. Holy light of love, holy light of love, shine, shine in the darkness upon when the light shines from your heart. Holy light of love, holy light of love.
Good morning, everyone. Sacred reading today is from Ernest Holmes' The Science of Mind. The thing, then, works for us by working through us and is us always. It cannot work for us in any other way. It spreads itself over the whole universe, shouts at us from every angle. But it can only become power to us only when we recognize it as power.
Before we begin, let's take a moment and turn within prayer. Just invite you to rest comfortably in your chairs. Breathe in. Breathe in that holy light, light of love. So as I breathe in this morning, I recognize the thing itself. The thing itself, which is spirit, flowing in, through, and around everything, which is also known as God, is also known as Jesus, Jeshua, Yeshua, Muhammad, Allah, the Buddha light, the Christ light, Oh, the Spirit is flowing in through and around everything today. And I am so pleased to feel it as light, as sunlight. I'm so pleased to feel it as rain. I'm so pleased to feel it as fog, as snow. For the Spirit is in, through, and around everything. All life, every rock, every stone, the moon, the stars, the earth. The Spirit is in every animal. The Spirit is the essence of everything that exists now, everything that ever existed, and everything that ever will exist. I am recognizing the truth of this Spirit as joy, as peace, as wisdom, as health and wholeness, as abundance, as love, unconditional love that is always here and always around us. Oh, I am recognizing this truth as music. Yes, and as I stand here in the recognition of this holy light of this Spirit, I am knowing that I am one with this Spirit, that there is no separation, that the Spirit is flowing in, through, and around me in every part of my being, from the top of my head to the tips of my toes and my fingers. I know that my Spirit is flowing to my heart, every organ of my being, to my knees, to my legs. I am one with Spirit. I am a divine expression of Spirit, just as I am one with Spirit. I know that each one here, each one of you, is one with this infinite, all-knowing intelligence that is all-powerful, that is everywhere present. I know that we are all one in this circle of life, that there is no separation. And I feel this oneness now as this holy light, as the thing itself. We are one with this presence. And as I stand in this, I feel the vibration of this presence in this room. In this room now. We are in the upper room communicating with this presence. I just give thanks this morning for the opportunity to speak a word of gratitude for all that is happening today and blessing. I bless each one here who has shown up for the service, and I know that you are filled with love and light, that you are lifted up, that you are uplifted, and that as each one of you is uplifted, you are lifted up, and you take it out into the world. I bless our board and our board president for all the work, all the love that they bring through the week, throughout the bless our ushers, greeters, and our practitioners. Bless our musician. Bless David Lark. Oh gosh. Bless Billy Larkin for the beauty that he brings through his music each week, inspiring us, reaching into our hearts, giving us all that we need to touch the hem of God. This morning especially, I bless our minister, Reverend David Carr, for the wisdom that he brings through his words, for allowing Spirit to move through him, to speak through him, for the wisdom that he brings through his guidance each week for our services. I bless Reverend David for all that he is, all that he was, and all that he will be, for he is certainly a divine emanation of spirit. Oh, I am just so grateful for everyone in the service, and I bless everyone, each one of you, all of you. And I invite you just a moment to just turn within and recognize the passing of Veteran Divine. Is the spouse of this woman. She passed away. And I just want to take a moment to recognize her gifts and what she has brought to this silence. That I give thanks. Thank you, Spirit. Thanks for all that you give us. Thank you for this new year. Thank you for the past year. Thank you for all that you're bringing for us in our lives. And I am just so excited about what is happening for us today and forever. And so it is. I show you. I'll hold. Amen.
When I think about the possibilities of what we are, we could be a wave or a particle, part of a star. And while we listen like demons, the angels dance in the hall. And we're reminded that we will invite to the when I wake each day in the universe, it's all brand new. What was once a tiny little part of me is now in you. And while we wrestle the demons, the angels dance in the hall. And then we're reminded that we were meant by to go. It's the demons, the angels dance in the hall. And then we're reminded that we were invited to feel the hall.
Thank you, Billy. You know, one of the things on my wish list is a bigger podium. Now, space and room for everything. So, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. What a great beginning to this year. Thank you so much for coming out. Boy, you guys must not have partied too hard last night. Because you're all here, or you did party hard and you said, you know what, we're gonna go to the center today, even though I'm hungover. I know, me too. My night wrapped up last night at, I think we went to bed around 10 o'clock. And that's really turning it up for us. We were really partying hard till 10.
Without TV.
So, yes, without TV, because the cable went out. So January in religious science centers around the world, those who are kind of traditionalists like me like to go through the first section of the Science of Mind textbook, and it's the introduction. And it's a little tiny slice of the book, and there's 4 sections in it, but it really lays out what this philosophy is all about. And I like to start the year with that. So we start off with a good firm foundation on what we're talking about and what our classes are built on and what our consciousness is here and why we're so happy and positive. Because God is good primarily. Yes? Do we agree? God is good? Yes, all the time. So that's a very important theme. I'm going to come back to that, to God being good all the time. Okay? So, what are the 4 sections? Well, we're going to talk about, I had it written down here and I don't have it anymore, but I got it memorized. We're going to talk about the thing itself today. We're going to talk about what it does, how it works, and how to use it. So this is like all the stuff you need to know to start building. But you know, it's funny, after I learned these things, I'm like, oh wow, this is all great, it makes sense. And then I had to go and live my life. I had to go and live my life and make decisions knowing that I was whole, perfect, and complete. I had to go through my life making decisions knowing that God is supporting me at all times. So it made me think a little bit more about my decisions, my choices, and things that I did. So it's not the end of the road, it's just the beginning of the road. So, first of all, the name of what we study here. A lot of people call it Science of Mind. We call it religious science officially. And if you ever tell anybody that you're into religious science and they give you that glazed over look, and they may want to run the opposite way, thinking that you're something that you're not. But it's not Christian Science. I always tell my friends, it's not Christian Science, not Scientology. Yes, we use science in the name, but really it's a true blending of the two, of religion and science. And religion is defined as a set of beliefs concerning the cause, nature, and purpose of the universe. So that's what we're doing on the religious side. On the science side, science is a systematically organized body of knowledge on a particular subject. So science is very hard and fact-based. Not hard as in difficult, but hard as in solid. It's studying solid principles and going off of evidence and experimentation and all these things. And that is what we're doing on our religious side as well. We're experimenting, we're playing, we're learning about principles, and then we're applying them in our lives scientifically, and we're checking out the results. What happens? So there's a lot of different religions out there. And when you get involved with religion, usually one of the things that you learn is that this is the way. You have found the way. The way to salvation, the way to happiness, the way. And anyone who's not this way you're just fooling yourself. But we don't do that here in religious science. There are many ways. There are many ways. And let me tell you something, and this is something that a lot of ministers will not tell you. Everything works. everything works. No matter who you are, no matter what you believe, it works. It works to the level of your belief in it. Now, for me, in order for me to believe something, I have to have evidence, I have to have some information, I have to have a lot of data in order for me to really buy in and believe it. That's why there are many paths. This one suits me. And we're going to talk all this month about why it suits me and why it suits many of us. But it's not to say, oh, if you believe something else, if you're Christian, if you're Buddhist, if you're, however you believe, we're not telling anybody that what they believe doesn't work. What they believe isn't true. Okay? It all works. So I just want to take some of the pressure off, because when I was little and I would go to church with my mom, and they would preach, and then this is the way, and if you don't believe this way, then you're going here and you're going there, and there's a lot at stake, and there's a lot of pressure to believe and to squeeze these thoughts into my mind so that I don't go to hell, which was the last thing I wanted to do. But in this philosophy, we just experiment. We take the pressure off. We don't believe in a heaven or hell. We believe that heaven and hell is made right here. You can have heaven on this earth every single day, and you can have hell on this earth, depending on what you believe and depending on what your choices are. So we pay a lot of attention to the here and now. And society kind of sets us up with the belief that life is a meritocracy. You familiar with that word, meritocracy? Yeah. It's you have to earn. You have to earn everything you get. You start with nothing, and you earn everything that you get. And if you don't earn it, then you don't get it, right? And if you do earn it, then you get it because you've earned that merit. Well, throw that out. Throw that idea of original lack out. Throw the idea of original sin out. Throw the idea that you've just been sent out into the world with nothing and expected to do everything by yourself. Just throw all of those notions out the window when we're talking about religious science. Throw out the idea of your original powerlessness. You are not powerless. You don't have to do anything to earn the power that you have. It's yours. You have it. It's your birthright. And oh geez, I had a quote here. I was just going to say, yeah, I lost track of it. So never mind. I'll just every once in a while I'm going to invite you guys into my mind. No. And I'll be mumbling. Yeah, and then just disregard that. So the meritocracy. It's a very American ideal. You start off with nothing, you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and you get out there and you make something of yourself. The problem is, like money, some of us, we're all born into different situations, with different levels of access, with different economic levels. Some people have a lot of money so that they have a leg up. They can get a little bit better education. They can get a little bit better access. They can do a little bit more. And so some people that don't have as much money, they're not going to be able to as easily attain those things. So already the deck is stacked right when you're born. Sometimes you'll have more access, sometimes you'll have less. So that's why the meritocracy part of spirituality does not work. There isn't anything that you need to do to earn your spiritual power. So thinking that way gives us a license to accept the limitations of others and to accept our own limitations. If we have nothing and we're getting everything from the outside, then our happiness is dependent on the outside. Our happiness depends on what we can bring in. But this philosophy is about your internal reservoir of happiness, your internal reservoir of worthiness. You have it now. That is what I want to leave you with. If I leave you with nothing else, to leave you with the fact that you are worthy, you are connected, and you are empowered. Period. So, here's that quote. Great quote from Ernest Holmes. To suppose that the creative intelligence of the universe would create humanity in bondage and leave it bound would be to dishonor the creative power which we call God. This goes along the lines of God does not create broken. God creates whole, perfect, and complete. And we already established that God is what? Good. Right? We established early on, God is good. So God is not going to create you and then deny you of power. God is not going to create you and turn its back on you. God is not going to create you and then say, okay, you're on your own. God has a little bit more foresight than that. You've been born and created with power. So we just need to learn about what that power is. So the thing itself, what is that? That is first cause. That is divine consciousness. That is the thing that is running through all of us right now. It is within us, working, listening, creating, attracting. It is, quite simply, it's God. It's the thing itself. And so, how do we connect with God? How does our consciousness mingle with the consciousness of God? Well, it's explained that we have our conscious mind, and then we have our subconscious mind, or our subjective mind. And so our conscious mind is the thing that's out there working, doing. It's pulling the levers, it's making the decisions, it's making the choices, it's walking here and there, it's transporting, it's doing all of the heavy lifting, all the consciousness stuff. The subconscious mind is making things happen behind the scenes. It is the repository of all thought. Anything that could be thought, that has been thought, that will be thought, is contained in this subjective mind. And so we mingle the two. Our conscious minds connect with our subconscious, and that is how we create the world that is in front of us. That's how we manifest. I have an example. Let's say that you're a person that loves lasagna. And who doesn't love lasagna? I love lasagna. If you love lasagna and you recall that your friend has a recipe to make lasagna, so you want to get some homemade lasagna and you feel up to the task of making it yourself, so you pick up your phone, you call your friend, they answer the phone, they give you the recipe, you go, you make it, you eat it. It's wonderful. Mission accomplished. I did this all by myself, right? There was one thing that we needed to do in this. We came up with the idea to have lasagna, and then we picked up the phone and we called and got the recipe. Now, when we picked up the phone and called and got the recipe, most people don't know how phones actually work. There was a million things that had to happen in order for that phone call to get from your hand to the other person's hand. All sorts of things. There's tower communication, there's packets of information that's being sent over the air. There's a million different things that have to happen in order to connect that phone call. But it all happens, and you don't care about all those things. All you want to do is you want to pick up the phone and you want to make sure, you want to know that you can make that phone call and get the information that you need. think of the phone itself as subjective mind. The phone is a very complicated piece of machinery that is doing a lot of different things, as we established before. It doesn't care who you're calling. It doesn't care why you're calling. Its job is to do your bidding. Its job is to be ready for your phone information. You put your number in and off you go. It's not judging. It's not restricting itself. It's doing the absolute most it can for you at the time that you use it. That is what subjective mind is. When we have a belief, when we believe something about the world, about ourselves, say, for example, my greatest one, because it's been something that I struggle with, is my worthiness. If I learned throughout my life and throughout my young life that, hey, you're unworthy, everybody's telling you that, I'm getting that from the universe, I'm going to believe that. That is going to enter into my mind as a belief. And because it's a belief, I'm going to live it. I'm going to look for signs that that is true. And I'm going to find them. I'm going to find all kinds of signs that I am unworthy, if that is what I believe. But I'm using the subconscious to give me signs of unworthiness, because that is what I believe. Now, if I turn that around and I believe in worthiness, I believe in my intrinsic worth, then I pick up the phone of the subconscious, and the phone connects me to worthiness without question. And so as I move through my life as a worthy person, believing I'm worthy, I'm going to see signs of my worthiness everywhere, because that's what the subconscious does. That's what the subconscious provides: proof, reinforcement, assistance. And I get much more assistance when I move through life thinking that I'm worthy and seeing signs of my worthiness than I do thinking that I'm unworthy and seeing signs of my unworthiness. Whatever you want, God says yes. God says yes. Whatever you believe, God says yes. Because all of our beliefs go into the subjective mind. But the subjective mind holds all thought. So I could just as easily pull out unworthiness. I could call my friend, and she could give me a terrible recipe for lasagna. I'll still make it. The phone still works. The phone still connects me. But what I want to get through to you with this analogy is that God is not judging what your beliefs are. God is just delivering. And then we judge. So if I believe I'm unworthy, I'm getting symbols of unworthiness. I'm like, oh, man, I'm unworthy. I really don't like this. I really don't like feeling this way. I don't like believing this about myself. It is as simple as starting to believe that you are worthy. All God needs is a mustard seed of faith. It's true. You don't need to just fully believe, I'm worthy, boom. Because that's a very difficult thing to shift in your mind, to go from unworthiness to worthiness. But if you have a mustard seed of faith, a mustard seed in the possibility of your original worth, of who you are in this world, if you have just an inkling, God is going to meet that. God is going to meet that and give you proof of why you are whole, perfect, and complete, why you are worthy. So this doesn't call for a complete paradigm shift. It just calls for a little opening in your consciousness, a little opening, and make way for the good that God has in store, because it's there. So What are we going to put into the subjective mind? In order to figure that out, it's good to look at our lives right now and see, what are we seeing in front of us? What do we see in our lives? What do we see that we don't like? What do we see that we want to change? Is that connected to what we believe? And if it is connected to what you believe, can you change that belief? So, this whole month, we're going to be working with how to change our beliefs, how this whole thing works, how Spirit works to bring us our good. But for today, we just need to know that God is. God is and God does. 100%. There is no need for the Almighty, all-loving, all-powerful, all-knowing Creator of all things, infinite power, infinite source. There is no reason for that to withhold anything from you. There is no reason for the Creator of all things to tell you no. Oh, I got to conserve some power here. I don't want to waste all my power on you. You're going to make a bad choice. So, no manifestations for you. No. It's manifestations for everyone. Why? Because that's our birthright. That's our birthright. That's what we get. It's not a meritocracy. We are the spoiled brats of God. Everything is laid before us. The entire world, our own personal universes that we carry along with us. We're masters of those universes. We're masters of ourselves. And we've been given that mastery by God. Not, here you go, off by yourself. No, we're in a partnership with God. Because that conscious mind and that subconscious mind are both right here. And we can never be separated from any of those, from either of those minds. So that we can never be separated from God. So I want to leave with a quote. To how we're going to approach this month and approach the year. Let us then approach the science of mind, the science of spiritual psychology, with awe, not with fear, with a truly humble thought, but not with a sense that we are unworthy. Let us approach it normally, happily, willingly to accept. Willing to accept, glad to experiment, hoping and believing that as the result of our efforts, we shall each derive a great good, a sound understanding of the natural laws of life as they apply to the individual and their relationship to the whole universal scheme of things. No pressure. No pressure. Yes, we're dealing with universal forces and powers. Yes, we're communing with God. Yes, we're building our lives by choice through our beliefs. Yes to all of these things. But yes also that there is no pressure. Just as we make a choice, we can make another choice. Just as we built our lives one way, we can also build our lives another way. That is the eternal givingness of God. God is never going to say, you've had enough. You've made too many choices. I'm not listening anymore. Nope. God has an infinite capacity to listen, an infinite capacity to give, an infinite capacity to support. And that's something that all we have to do is be grateful for and accept. Take it for granted, but take it with gratitude. Always knowing where your good comes from. Your good comes from a partnership of you and God. So for your home play today, Our fifth Sunday is going to be Testimony Sunday. And I want to hear how God is working in your life. I want to hear what miracles are happening for you. So for your home play, I want you to have your antenna up and looking for good. All good that comes your way. Simple happenstance. Those are my favorite ones. Happenstance, coincidence. Something happened to you, you're crossing the street and you find a dollar, you pick it up. Whoa, I was just thinking about a dollar and I found a dollar and I picked it up. Yes, that counts. Write it down. Bring it in. On the fifth Sunday, we're going to talk about all these experiences and we're going to talk about the many ways that God gives to us. Wow, God gives that way too? Yes. Well, God does that? Yes. This is going to be a great discovery, a great month of discovery. So your homework is put your antenna up, keep an eye out for your good, for your blessings, for your fortunate events. I know they're happening. We're going to leave here right now. Fortunate events are unfolding for all of us in this room and all of us online. Right now, forces are happening to bring our good to us. So I know that this is true. So I expect to hear from all of you. And if you're shy about getting up, then just share your story with me. And I'll get up and share your story with everyone else. But the more we hear about God working, the more it will help solidify our own faith. The more it will help us raise our antenna even higher to look for all of the voices of God and all of the blessings. So let's take that into prayer. Inside we go into that place of peace, that place of quiet, stillness, to that place of blessed assurance, to that place inside that's beyond all condition. Is here from that place of peace, that place of knowing that we declare there's one spirit, one guide, one consciousness, one cause. And this one is all power. It's all beauty. It's all light. It is all the principles of good that we recognize. It is all wisdom. It's all beauty. It's all joy. And as a blessed creation of God, I know that all of the principles of God reside in me. And just as I know this about myself, I know this about every single person in this room. I know this about every person that's online. Every person walking up and down the street in this neighborhood. Every person in the world. I'm happy to know this truth about everyone. And so I know this connection means that any power I use, I'm using God's power. Any beauty I see, I'm seeing God's beauty. Any wisdom that I attain is God's wisdom. The light in my life is God's light. And just as I know my oneness with God, I know that this connection can never be severed. God is forever partnered with me. God is forever partnered with us, listening to what we believe, always saying yes, always delivering results, always creating new good. And so as I look out onto the world with all of our challenges, all of our problems, all of our initiatives, I know that with a thought, with a belief, with God, everything is all right. I know that there is peace with God. I know that peace is just a choice away. So I'm thankful. I'm so thankful to God too, that God has provided this playground for us to play and use our energies, for us to figure out how to introduce more good into our lives. I'm so thankful that God is here with me. I'm so thankful that I have an inexhaustible source. I'm so grateful for everything that God has done and everything that God will do. And so I release these words. I release them into the mind of the universe, into that beautiful, great subconscious mind to deliver the sacred yes, to make the good that I believe in, to make that the good that I see all around me. And so let us all release these words, knowing that our blessings are all around us. We release these words with the words, and so it is. We can learn to rise up. We lost can now be understand. And suddenly we understand that it's a different day with God in our hearts. Different day, see how true love starts. Different way of calling, a different way of falling. In love, in we can learn to let it be, trying not to just let go. That converged on you. Slip. But yes, to our January 1st baby is right here, to our January 1st baby and all the babies that are out in online. We got a special song. Elizabeth, good morning. Oh, I love that jacket. Yes. Elizabeth Singh is here to sing us our birthday song. All right. So we are a center that observes the spiritual practice of giving and tithing, and we call it conscious, committed, structured giving. And there's many ways to give and expand your abundance consciousness. We give of our time through volunteering, we give of our talents through participation, and we give of our treasure through financial donations. Your gifts help us in our mission to provide a sanctuary for all to be lifted and inspired to embody spiritual principles and live their inherent greatness. We have a board meeting this week. We're going to figure out who our tithing partner is for the next quarter. But for now, know that information is on the way. But we'll head to the ways to give, and there are many ways to give. There is the old-fashioned way of just putting money in one of those plates to your left or right. You can also do it the hip, high-tech way, and you can text. You can text to give. I looked very hip at that. Yeah. You can text to give.
It was something.
Yes, to this number, and you can use PayPal. And we still are at info CSL Davis. We're in the middle of changing our name and everything over to CSL Yolo, so some things still say Davis. And we still need to change it with the bank. So you can also send a check or money order to CSL Davis, P.O. Box 1361, Davis, California. So there are many ways to give. So now that you know why we give and you know how to give, let us enter into that sacred consciousness of divine abundance. I invite you to place your hand over your heart, symbolizing that vibrational energy of circulation. Feel that circulation. And say with me our abundance affirmation. I give with an attitude of abundance, knowing that as I give, I do receive. Today, I celebrate my prosperity and my ability to share from my overflow of good. I give from the knowledge that all is well. God to be everything for me. So if that's for my mistakes, God to be everything for me. God is God to be everything for me. So if that's for my mistakes, God to be everything for me. God to be everything for me. God to be everything for me. Release these gifts to do their work of proclaiming the good news that all is well. As we have freely given, according to the law of circulation, it returns to us full measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So we will always have more to enjoy and to spare, to give and to share. For this we give thanks, we let it be so, and so it is. Thank you. So we want to welcome the children that are here among us, the children that are on the way, and we want to prepare a space in our minds in our center, in our hearts, for the children and youth that are headed our way, because that is a big goal of ours as we grow to be a welcome place for youth, because that's where our future is. And that's where the future is. And we want youth that are aware of their beliefs and aware of what their minds are doing. And this is a very powerful philosophy to share with young people as they can take a grasp of their lives and they're good. So we want to say to the children that are here and the children that are on the way that we love you.
We love you.
We're here for you.
We are here for you.
And we are so glad you're here.
And we're glad you're here.
So we believe in the power of connection. And what does that mean? That means that we believe that we're connected to God and that we're connected to each other. And that connection has power in the form of prayer. As we pray for each other, as we believe the absolute best, the absolute truth of each other, that truth emerges. And that is very powerful. So if you would like the gift of prayer today, if you want someone to see your wholeness, your perfection, your completeness in your life, in your endeavors, then please let us know. Let one of our practitioners know. And both practitioners, raise your hand. Got one there. We have a nice little private area where we can sit and pray and just talk about how wonderful you are and how good God is. So please let us know if you need prayer today or if you would like prayer. We are having fellowship downstairs. We've got some goodies down there, some coffee, some tea, some good times. So come on downstairs and fellowship with us. And let's just talk. Heck. So that is about it. So yes, we're going to head down and have fellowship right after service. And I just want to thank you all for being here on this blessed morning, thinking about how the last 4 days have been, and to think about today, the sun and the clear blue skies and just the beauty. Oh, just let it fill you up. So let's have our closing song and benediction. If you stay go forth today, knowing your blessings are abound, on their way, surrounding you, uplifting you, and always know that God loves you. And so it is.
It's funny because Dave asked the first that's over and I still look the same. Not yet, but it's really in the main. In fact, you know what? I don't think we got the mail yesterday. Like, I mean, I don't think we physically went down to get it. It was raining and nobody wanted to walk down to the mailbox. Okay, is that for us? Thank you.